Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. Tropical storm Dante is on its way out of the Philippine area of responsibility, but Typhoon Emong continues to threaten Luzon. Pag-asa said tropical storm Dante was spotted 735 kilometers east-northeast of Itbayat, Batanes, packing maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 90 kilometers per hour. Dante is moving north-northwestward at 30 kilometers per hour towards Ryukyu Islands and may exit Par in the afternoon or evening. On the other hand, Typhoon Emong continues to slowly turn south-southeastward towards the east. Emong was last seen 220 kilometers west-southwest of Bacnotan, La Union, or 210 kilometers west of Dagupan City, Pangasinan. It has maximum sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 150 kilometers per hour. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 3 was raised over the northern portion of Pangasinan and the western portion of La Union. Signal number 2 is hoisted over Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, the rest of La Union, the western portion of Apayao, Abra, Kalinga, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, the central portion of Pangasinan, and the western portion of Nueva Vizcaya. Signal number 1, on the other hand, is in effect over Batanes, Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands, the western and central portions of Isabela, the rest of Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, the rest of Apayao, and the rest of Pangasinan, the northern and central portions of Zambales, Tarlac, and the western and central portions of Nueva Ecija. Emong is likely to intensify and accelerate and make landfall over La Union or Ilocos Sur tomorrow. Heavy rainfall from Emong is expected over Cagayan, Kalinga, Apayao, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, Nueva Ecija, Ilocos Norte, Tarlac, Abra, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Zambales, and Benguet. Pag-asa is also monitoring the low-pressure area spotted outside the Par yesterday, which has now developed into a tropical depression. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. visited families displaced by floods in San Mateo, Rizal this morning. The president checked on the conditions of the families currently taking shelter at the Mali Elementary School. He also led the distribution of family food packs. Nearly 3,900 families, or over 14,300 individuals, were affected by floods and heavy rains brought by severe tropical storm Crising and the enhanced southwest monsoon. About 546 families, or 2,102 persons, evacuated to Mali Elementary School. San Mateo is currently under a state of calamity. The president has ordered a unified response to calamities from all agencies to ensure the safety of affected communities. Earlier, the Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, assured that all available government rescue assets and personnel are ready to respond amid the threat of inclement weather from tropical cyclones Dante and Emong and the southwest monsoon. In an online press briefing, OCD Officer in Charge Assistant Secretary Bernardo Rafaelito Alejandro IV said the Armed Forces has about 15,000 personnel ready to conduct search, rescue, and retrieval operations anytime. The Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, and the Philippine Coast Guard have 26,000 and 5,000 personnel respectively on standby. The AFP has 1,600 land vehicles available for rescue missions, while the BFP has 3,000 fire trucks. They also have air and sea assets consisting of 28 rotary aircraft, 9 fixed-wing aircraft, 19 vessels from the Philippine Navy, 23 from the Coast Guard, and smaller rescue vessels from the BFP. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare and Development has pre-positioned close to 3 million family food packs. The Department of Health, or DOH, has 10 mobile communication teams and other personnel ready in case of any other emergencies. The Department of Agriculture, or DA, assured the public that the prices of agricultural products remain stable despite the combined effects of severe tropical storm Crising and southwest monsoon, or habagat. In a virtual press briefing, DA spokesperson and Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa said they don't see any significant price hike even for vegetables. De Mesa said that while rice production has received some damage, the affected palay is still in its early planting or vegetative stage. He added that high-value crops are likely to recover faster. Based on the DA Disaster Risk Reduction Management Operations Center, rice sector losses reached over 212 million pesos, affecting around 14,800 hectares of rice fields as of Wednesday. On the other hand, the damage in high-value crops remained at 82.63 million pesos, impacting lowland and upland vegetables, spices, legumes, watermelon, banana, pineapple, and other root crops. De Mesa clarified that price increase typically happens when there is difficulty in logistics or production supply. Meanwhile, the National Food Authority or NFA guaranteed the release of rice stocks in areas hit by habagat and storms Crising, Dante, and Emong. The assurance was made despite reports of flooding near NFA warehouses in Valenzuela and Occidental Mindoro. In a Viber message, NFA Administrator Larry Lacson said, rice stocks have no damage as the agency's warehouses nationwide are not affected by the bad weather. The NFA rice will be released to the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Office of Civil Defense, and selected local government units, among others. Lacson said over 39,700 of 50-kilo bags of rice would be allocated to areas impacted by the inclement weather. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is back from his official visit from Washington, D.C., bringing home over $21 billion in investment pledges and renewed strategic commitments from the United States. The plane carrying Marcos and his delegation landed in Manila on Wednesday night. In his arrival message, the president said the visit reaffirmed the deep alliance between the Philippines and the U.S. Throughout his three-day visit, Marcos held meetings with U.S. President Donald Trump, Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He said the U.S. and the Philippines reaffirmed their commitment to the Mutual Defense Treaty as they uphold peace, stability, and the rule of law in the South China Sea and the Indo-Pacific region. They also discussed enhanced cooperation in cybersecurity, infrastructure resilience, and energy security. He emphasized fair, balanced, and reciprocal trade as a cornerstone of future ties between their countries. The president welcomed the U.S. government's pledge of $15 million to support private sector development under the Luzon Economic Corridor and $48 million in additional foreign assistance. He also gained investment pledges worth over $21 billion following meetings with top executives of semiconductors, healthcare, and infrastructure firms. Marcos, meanwhile, invited Trump to attend next year's ASEAN Summit in Manila in time for the 80th anniversary of Philippines-U.S. diplomatic relations and the 75th anniversary of the Mutual Defense Treaty. In other news, the Pag-IBIG Fund on Wednesday announced it is ready to assist members affected by severe tropical storm Crising through its calamity loan program and housing loan insurance claim for damaged homes. Qualified members living in areas declared under a state of calamity may apply for Pag-IBIG Calamity Loan. The requirement for calamity loans include a duly accomplished calamity loan application form, a valid ID, proof of income or employed certificate income, and a Pag-IBIG Loyalty Card Plus. Eligible members can borrow up to 90% of their Pag-IBIG savings with a low annual interest rate of 5.95%. It is payable over 3 years, including a 3-month grace period before the due of the first payment. Members have 90 days from declaration of a state of calamity in their area to apply. The Pag-IBIG Fund is also accepting housing loan insurance insurance claims under its all risks coverage for members with typhoon-damaged homes. Applications may be sent via email or contact us at pag-ibigfund.gov.ph at the nearest Pag-IBIG Fund branch or through Lingkod Pag-IBIG on Wheels. More information and downloadable forms are available on their website www.pag-ibigfund.gov.ph. Meanwhile, the Social Security System or SSS will issue the revised Calamity Loan Program or CLP guidelines to aid members in areas affected by tropical storms and southwest monsoon. In a statement, SSS said the revised guidelines include the lower interest rate of 7% from the previous 10%. The reduced interest rate is for members with good credit records or applicants who did not avail of penalty condonation for the past 5 years. The loanable amount is equivalent to 1 month salary credit or MSC, computed based on the average of the last 12 MSCs rounded up to the nearest 1,000 or the amount applied for, which is lower and capped at 20,000 pesos. To avail of the CLP, members must have at least 36 monthly contributions, 6 of which must be posted within the last 12 months prior to the month of filing. Individually paying members must also have at least 6 posted contributions under their current membership type. Applicants may submit the Calamity Loan application online through the SSS website by accessing their my.sss account or through the SSS mobile app. The loan is payable within 2 years in 24 equal monthly amortizations. The amortization will begin on the second month following the month of the loan approval with a service fee of 1%. SSS reminded members that loan amortization not paid on the deadline shall bear a penalty of 1% per month, computed and charged for every day of delay. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am William Theo. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.